throughout the the prison, and what happens after it, because Wayne is participating. I don't know why he's participating in this killing spree, but he's doing as well, and you can in some way can refer this as Stockholm syndrome, but it's not, because he hasn't been held captive for a long time, like Patty Hearst, who basically they call it Patty Hearst syndrome, where she was basically working with her captives, but he clearly just evil. And when he gets out, he think he's gonna be hanging with him this entire time, but gets a wide awakening. It's like, yeah, you're gone. We're gonna kill you too. It's like, what about uh shouldn't have someone to tell the tale? I said, yeah, the camera. We don't really need you at this point. So all this happening is still happening live. The whole killing spree is happening live. So it as it cuts off, it basically shows like the Menendez brothers and O.J. Simpson and other trials that were going on around this time. But there's a alternative ending was not theatrical play that actually shows like this. He's basically the angel of death, and I forget what he looked like, and I don't know if he's up here or not, because I don't see the actor who played him, because he's been in other stuff. Let's see. He's not Sonny. Let's see. He's way down the line. If he's on the cast of people. The kid is playing with him. He's a little kid now. But he's basically, they explain it in the DVD. If you see in certain scenes, he actually shows up and he's like the angel of death. So in the alternative ending, he is in a car with Mickey and Mallory, and he kind of loses the fact that, hey man, I like to get a run at Mallory. Mickey's not too happy about that, and they're gonna pull him over, and I just want to deal with him. And then when they pull over, he pulls out sawed-off shotgun and aims it at Mickey's face, and he's actually smiles before he dies. Mallory didn't smile though, but that should have ended. That should have been ending to that movie, and not the end that he had, because it should have got the just desserts. And I know that's not the point of the movie. The movie's supposed to show how we idolize monsters inadvertently. But you can watch that film if you want to. I would advise it. It doesn't hold up, And after Quentin Tarantino, I don't know which one he wrote first. So I talked about what's the name? I talked about True Romance. I'm gonna talk about True Romance now, but I figured I'd get Natural Born Killers out the way, and then talk about True Romance, because True Romance is a better film in comparison. Sounds probably one of the best films I've ever seen, and I actually rented it from Roses a long time ago, and on paper you look at it like, I'm not watching that crap, but if I knew what I knew now, I would actually like, yeah, kind of wish I had watched that film. So basically the film starts off as Clarence Worley, who's basically played by Christian Slater, this guy who runs a comic book shop with his buddy, and his buddy wants to help him out, and so he hires him a prostitute, but he doesn't tell him that he hired him a prostitute, because he goes to the theater every day. So this girl, Alabama Whitman, played by Patricia Arquette, sees him at the theater, and it's supposed to be kind of like, just happened to be a girl there, and they become friends, and they're watching the movie together. They're watching Sonny Shiba, one of the Street Fighter movies, and then after the movie, they go hang out, and they go back to her place, and they start making out, and that's when she feels guilty, and she tells him that, your boss hired me, but I don't want to do this anymore. So they actually fall in love, which is absurd, because you're a prostitute. I don't even know you, but it starts out like kind of a unconventional love story. Why this is happening, on the other side of town, Drexel, played by Gary Oldman, is going to drug deal in one of those shady motels where he basically kills the two drug dealers who gave him the drugs and basically, leaves. And I'm surprised there's no repercussion from that, or whoever it was he's getting the deal from. Surprised that they never retaliated, but it doesn't matter because that's not part of the important part of the story. And after Clarence, he gets married to Alabama, he wants to sever all ties of her past. So he feels needs to go to the
Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where?
sorry about that. Someone called me, and that was complete nonsense. So, back to what I was saying. Um, he want to sever all loose ties. So, uh, he goes there, and he's supposedly trying to get her stuff. He hasn't, Drexel hadn't seen Alabama in 3 days, and needless to say, they wasn't too pleased when he came by, and they get in a scuffle, and you know, uh, what's her name? Clarence ends up killing both the muscle and Drexel. So he grabs a suitcase, which he thinks is the suitcase belonging to Alabama. It turns out it was actually, kilos of cocaine. And he has an idea. He's like, I got a buddy down in like Los Angeles, and I was like, maybe I can get him to sell it for me. And he's just a struggling actor, so I don't know why he thought that he was going to be able to do that for him. But his buddy, Dick, I'm gonna say Richie, has an idea. It's like, yeah, come on down here, and we maybe have someone I can sell the drugs to. Before then, he goes by his dad's house and asks, "Have you heard anything on the cases pertaining to pimp getting killed or whatever?" He said, "I hadn't heard anything. No, we crying about it." But um, he says, you be safe, and he leaves. And just as he's leaving, driving away, the mob the drugs belong to, who actually Drexel works for, looking for the drugs, they show up and they beat the crap out of his dad. And they're demanding where is his drugs, and he knows there's no way, there's no good scenario. I'm not coming out of this alive. So the best thing I do is I can go on my own term. So he asks for a Chesterfield cigarette, that's like an unfiltered cigarette, and basically insults him to his face. Gives him this long story spiel about how the Moors, went through Sicily and turned all the Italians that were blonde haired and blue eyed to dark olive skinned people, basically saying he got raped by a black man. In so many words, he's basically what he's saying. Christopher Walken plays the big gangster guy, but Veranzetto, which I don't think they ever say his name in the movie, but that's his actual name in the movie. It's not important because he only has one small scene, but it's a very iconic scene. He kills his dad, and then they actually get the note. So these are things that are happening that are spiraling in motion. It's like a domino effect where something happens and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And now they're heading down to Los Angeles to find them to get their drugs back. So when they get down there, he's befriending his buddy Richie, who is like a struggling actor played by Michael Rappaport, and he said, "Do you know anyone that want to like get these drugs off of me?" He said, "Yeah, well, I think I got someone. This agent Elliot, who's producer guy who, basically, who can help me out." And basically they get a deal to go meet this guy, and in the process, um, is Lee Donowitz's the actor's name is Saul Rumet. I'm not gonna pronounce his name. He was in this new TV show called Hunters. TV show that's on Amazon Prime that came out last year about Nazis infiltrating the U.S. in the 70s, early 60s, late 70s, and whole thing. I'm gonna get into. One day I'm gonna talk about that show in its entirety, but he was on there, and he's been in a lot of other movies and stuff. I think he's actually in the movie Unforgiven. He plays a reporter. But anyway, I'm just gonna use his name, Lee Donowitz. So basically, I guess he has like dealers, but he maybe want to work with guy, and he was gonna lowball him or whatever. So he already had a deal ready, and all this process was happening. Clarence went out to get some from a store. Why, Alabama was arresting, and at the process at that time, one of the mob guys came down. Surprisingly, he didn't come down all at once. James Gandolfini's character actually shows up at what's his name, Richie's house first, and kind of like asks him where's your buddy staying at, and he gives him the room to come down there and check it out. So he ends up showing up first, and keep in mind all these people are either up and coming actors or on their way, if they aren't on their way. And for some reason, this version doesn't have James Gandolfini. You think if someone's been on Sopranos at this time, he'd be first in line, but it doesn't matter. He since had passed away already, and so did Dennis Hopper, which is a shame. They're both very good actors. And Val Kilmer's dealing with a situation with mouth cancer or something like that. So it's a shame these good actors. Oh yeah, I didn't even say, but Val Kilmer's in this movie. He plays basically his mentor, his voice or whatever, voicing Elvis. But get back to James Gandolfini comes to the motel and basically kind of like playfully has conversation with her, and then it gets ugly, and basically he threatens, he beats the hell out of her. I mean, he beats the crap out of her. It's brutal. So she's bleeding to death, and he finally finds the suitcase, but then she gets the upper hand, ends up killing him, and they get out of there, and they kind of like patches up as much as he could. So they go to a music part where they meet up with Elliot to do the drug deal, so they can talk to his boss. What probably was not that interesting, but they come to some agreement or something like that, and basically the deal was made, and cut to next why he was like banishing her up or whatever. Elliot was driving down the road top speed with some girl in the car, and the cops pull him over. Now he has like a kilo of cocaine or a bag, or I don't know how much cocaine is in his car. Naturally, he could just put it under the seat or put it in the glove compartment because he's kind of hippie dude, and I don't think that the police would have gave him a ticket. But if you're scared about going to jail, you do anything absurd. So he's trying to ask her to put in her bra, and she was not going to do that. She ended up smacking in his face, and of course the cops stop him. Now he's investigated by an actual detective, and they threaten him to go in the booty jail, and so of course he's not going to do that. So he's doing everything he can to get out of that circumstances. So he's willing to wear a wire. So the movie, it gets worse and worse. The mafia comes down. They're coming to the where the hideout is, not hideout, where the director is, and Elliot basically rats out his boss, and he wears a wire, and now the cops are involved. Hey, what's up?
No, just do your thing.
It's okay. You can say something.
I'm good, thank you.
No, I was just. But then the cops are now involved now, So now